Hello. So I learned something new today. When you're by yourself on Zoom, I don't think it's possible for you to record your video. So if you're seeing this, I'm recording you from my laptop, which might give it a more interesting angle, but I hope that this is something you can still enjoy. My name is Taylor, and welcome to my yoga class today. I wanted to create just a quick, I guess quick, 30-minute sequence. Um, in the times that we're living in now, that we've been living in for a while, it's still really easy to stay sedentary and to stay seated for, a long period of time. And so I wanted to take this time and take this moment to just move our bodies a bit more in a very simple way that we can do every day, that you can do just when you feel like getting up and trying to move around. And it's a very basic part of yoga. So it's just a sun salutation. It's kind of funny because it's nighttime here and we're doing sun salutations, but I think it's a great way to get moving and get going, and it's pretty adaptable. So the first few sequences here I'll show with the adaptations, um, for if you feel like you're not particularly strong, or if you feel like you just want to ease your way into it. This is the perfect way to do it. And as time goes on, I'll show the more, I guess, advanced, if you want to call it, poses that you're welcome to, versions of the pose, and you're more than welcome to give those a try as well. So, I guess without further ado, let's get started. All right. Let me move the camera over just a little bit so maybe you can see the front of the mat a little bit better. I noticed I'm a little bit off to one side here. Okay, maybe that will work out well. All right, let's give that a go. All right, so I brought these blocks here. You might not need them. And if you might, that's totally okay too. So I will show the very first version with the blocks in check so you can grab them, give it a go, and then see how your body feels after. Remember, this is your practice. So this is here for what makes your body feel good. You can go for a nice stretch, but never do anything that feels painful. If it feels painful, come out of the pose, wait for something different, you know, ease up off of it. We're not trying to become like stretch masters here or anything like that. We're just trying to connect with our bodies and get some movement going. So here we go. Let's go. So first, meet me at a stand, right at the very top of the mat here. All right. So we're gonna have our feet about hips width apart. Let me move the blocks over a little bit. So we're gonna have our feet about hips width apart, and yeah, from here, just check in with your body and see how it feels to be standing, right? It's not something we usually do. We just stand and don't think about it. Keep your weight evenly distributed between both feet. Feel some pressure in all 10 toes. Feel some pressure in your heels as well. You can inspire this by creating some movement, right? Leaning to one side, leaning to the other, leaning a bit forward, leaning a bit backwards, and just try to see where feels like you have an even distribution of weight, or the most even distribution of weight that you can get, right? So, yeah, that feels nice. And so that you can keep a slight bend in the knee. There's no need for it to be like locked or anything. Just a slight bend in the knee is great. And then we'll check our hips, that our hips are stacked down to the ground here, that our tailbone is tucked in, right? That our abs are engaged and pulled upward. That we keep a nice long pose in the neck. Shoulders are down away from the ears and rolled backwards. So it's almost this idea that the very front of your body is pulled upwards and the back of your body is pulled downwards. And this kind of like, you can feel this sort of like circle feeling, right? You keep your hands pulled out to your sides here, and you can close your eyes and just focus on your breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Really focus on each breath you're taking here. Breathing out any sort of stressors or worries from the day. And just breathing in fresh air. Two more. And let's begin. So on your next inhale, swing your arms up over your head. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Again, inhale, swing your arms up. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Again. And last time through. And so now from here, what you're going to do is you're going to, on your inhale, you're going to bring your arms up and around overhead. And on an exhale, bring a nice bend to your knees and into a nice forward fold so your hands touch the mat. You can bend your knees as much as you want so that your hands can touch the mat. I would expect in this pose that your stomach is touching your thighs, your chest may touch your thighs as well, and that is perfectly normal. That's perfectly okay. And we'll just take a couple breaths here. And you'll inhale. And on your next exhale, bring one foot back and bring the other foot back. And you can bring your knees down here, right? And you can bring your toes down here for a nice plank. And of course, take a couple breaths here. So you'll inhale, and on your next inhale, lower your body down to the mat. You can feel that your hands are, or you can feel that your hands are under your shoulders here. You'll press the tops of your feet down towards the mat. Press your hips down towards the mat as well. Have your thighs engaged, right? And your elbows are, it's almost like they're trying to kiss each other, so your arms are fully engaged as well. And doing like this, you want to pull, it's almost like you want to pull your spine out and up into a small cobra. There's no need for anything extreme or serious, just however much you can get. If you just get your head off the ground, that's great. And breathe. And on your next exhale, lower your body down. All right. Bring your toes up here. And on an inhale, you can push your body up into tabletop. And so tabletop, you're just coming up on all fours here. And you'll check where your body is, right? So you'll see that your shoulders are in line down to your wrists, and that your knees are in line with your hips as well. See, so we've got it here, and we've got this here, and it looks good, right? Looks good, we like this. And we'll take just a couple breaths here. Now, this is our first tabletop of the day, as it were, so we're gonna go ahead and just take this time to do a couple cat-cows. So we'll start out in cow. So you just try and bring your belly down. And you allow your hips to come up. You allow your neck to come up as your belly tries to reach down toward the ground on an inhale. And on an exhale, you are trying to arch your back Ooh, as much as you can there. Ooh, feels good, right? Oh yeah, I always like this one in particular. And we'll do it again on an inhale. Bring your belly down try to bring your belly toward the mat. And an exhale, arch your spine. And we'll just take a couple seconds here, move your hips side to side. Maybe move yourself front to back a little bit. You can move yourself in a circle. Just take a second to really play with your body and enjoy the movement that it can do, you know. All right. So now we're here at a nice tabletop, and we're going to come into our first downward dog of the day. So what does that mean? We're coming into our first downward dog of the day. So you'll curl your toes under you, and you'll lift your hips. You'll lift your hips up and back into a downward dog. Now, for a lot of people, a downward dog is kind of a tough thing because it puts a lot of pressure on your wrists. So make sure that your arms are at an angle. This should relieve a lot of pressure from your wrists and also engage your fingertips, right? So that'll increase the weight distribution, right? It's our first one of the day, so a generous bend in the knees is great. Maybe your stomach is touching your thighs, maybe they aren't. That's totally fine. Here's just a good chance to really stretch out your spine. And on an exhale, go ahead and walk your toes up to meet your fingers. If you're like me, kind of had to make an adjustment there, but that's okay. Again, a nice bend in the knees is great. Keep your hands on the mat and we'll just breathe. Let your head hang low. On your next inhale, we'll do a halfway lift. So it just means you straighten your knees, try to keep a nice flat back. And so your hands can be anywhere. They can be down by your ankles if you'd like. They can be up by your knees if you're like. It can be at this sort of like angle here where it's parallel with your hips. Just wherever you find is great. And your neck is an extension of your spine. And exhale, you'll take a nice bend in your knees and come back down. Maybe it's less of a bend this time. Maybe there's more. That's totally fine. And on your next inhale, you're going to swing your arms up overhead and stand up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So this is a very simple, very modified sun salutation that we'll be doing today. So now that I've shown you each pose, let's go ahead and give it a slow run through. Okay, so we're at the top of the mat. We're back here in mountain pose, weight evenly distributed, hips tucked in, abs engaged, shoulders cascading down the back, standing nice and tall. Breathe. And on your next inhale, swing your arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, take a nice bend in your knees and swing your arms up overhead on an inhale and exhale down to forward fold. Now here's a good chance as well if you wanted to use your blocks and put a little more stretch in the backs of your legs to try and let them meet like this. Breathe. And on your next exhale, go ahead and put your legs out and you can bring your knees down. You can move your blocks out of your way here if you decided to use them. And so we have a modified plank pose here. Now from this modified plank pose, on your next exhale, lower your body down to the mat. Check in, toes engaged, tops of the feet pressed into the mat, thighs engaged, hips pressed into the mat. Shoulders above your hands. And we're gonna press into our hands, and it's like bringing your spine out and up into a cobra. And exhale, bring it down. We'll inhale into tabletop. And exhale, we'll and inhale in tabletop, curl our toes. And exhale, hips up and back into downward dog. This is our second downward dog of the day, so feel free to use this to pedal your legs out. You're more than welcome to bring some more stretch into your hamstrings if you'd like, into your legs. And remember to breathe. And on your next exhale, go ahead and walk your feet back up to your hands. Right? Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, back down. You can just focus on keeping your hands on your mat here, so bend as much as you'd like. And let your head hang low. And on your next inhale, swing your arms up and around to come into a stance. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, that's one flow. So we're going to go ahead and try it again, and I'll give a little less guidance this time so that will speed it up. But of course, you're more than welcome to watch the video. Still going a little bit slower, but speeding it up just a little. Get a little more heat in the body, get a little more breath going through and circulating. All right, so here we go. So we're here back in mountain pose. Front of the body going upward, shoulders in the back of the body pressing downward. Inhale, swing your arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees just a little bit. Inhale, swing your arms up. And exhale into forward fold, whatever that means for you. Well, whatever variation that means for you. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, bring your hands out. And you bring your knees down if you'd like, or you can keep them up. And exhale, lower yourself down to the mat. Keeping everything properly engaged. On your next inhale, lift up into cobra. And exhale, lower down. Inhale into tabletop. Make sure you're all set to go. And on your next exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward dog. On your next exhale, go ahead and walk your toes up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands back down to the mat. And on your next inhale, swing your arms up and over to come to a stand. And exhale, hands to heart center. Whew, that's some good stuff. So let's go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and you can do it at your own pace. All right, so go ahead and do it twice at your own pace. At half speed, which is what I've kind of been doing, is that you'll breathe in one time and breathe out one time in each pose before you move to the next. If you would like to go at full speed, it's one breath, one movement. So when you breathe in, you're doing something, and when you breathe out, you're doing something else. All right? So the first time I will give breath directions. I will give breath directions based on half speed, so you'll breathe in, breathe out, and then make a movement. And then one time through, it will be one breath, one movement. Okay, so here we go. So we'll start in mountain pose. All right, and so we'll get started. So on your next inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift. And exhale, down. Inhale, plank. And exhale, down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, down. Inhale to tabletop. In preparation, and exhale to downward dog. I usually hold downward dog here a little bit longer. And exhale. Walk your toes up to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale to a stand. Arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, this time one breath, one movement. Let's give it a try. We're in mountain pose. And we're going, the mountain pose. So hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale into plank. And exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale. And we'll inhale into downward dog. And exhale. Walk your toes up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, arms up to a stand. And exhale, hands to heart center. Pretty good, yeah? So now we'll go ahead and come and meet me at a seat. How's that? Not bad, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to do just a couple easy cool down stretches and head into our favorite corpse pose. All right, so we're going to come be here and we're going to lie on our backs. And this is really just a good time to just roll your back out a little bit. So you'll bring your knees up to your chest, right? Give yourself a nice hug. Did such a good job today. And roll your back. Roll your knees side to side. You can roll them front to back as well. the goal here really is to just give yourself like a nice little back massage. Try to stretch the back out today. Often we are, hunched from sitting, or we're not standing in a proper posture. So it's just a good way to show your back a little bit of love. And now let's go ahead and head into corpse pose. So you'll bring your feet down to the mat, and then you'll let them stretch out in front of you. Just usually it's about hips width apart, but it's really about whatever feels comfortable to you. Allow them to relax outward, and then allow your hands to lay out by your sides. If they're facing up, it's usually mean you're ready to receive all the goodness that the universe and the future has for you. And if your hands are seated, facing down, it usually means you're feeling more introspective today and just really want to check in with your body. Allow your body to melt into the mat, shoulders nice and relaxed. And breathe. When you're ready, I invite you to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe move your legs, move your arms. Just inviting some movement back into your body. And when you're ready, allow yourself to roll over to one side of your body and use your hands to help you come to a seat. I want to take this time. Oh, give me another second. I want to take this moment to say thank you so much for for joining me in my practice, but more importantly, for coming to the mat today. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but you made it. And I think that's something that really should be appreciated. So thank you so much. Have a great day or evening. Namaste.